This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm V.
And you're listening to Cringe With Me, the podcast where we dig up the cringiest articles, questions, and tidbits of human culture to review with you, our listeners, so you too can cringe with me.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible.
And we're back once again. And it's Ryan's turn once again.
Oh, yeah. I got another Am I the Asshole because I find them so fun.
Okay.
And this one, the title alone makes me really happy. Am I the asshole for accidentally seeing my roommate's girlfriend naked? This is a bit of a story, so we're going to get into it. Stop me if you need to ask questions or clarification. All right, let me give you guys some context before jumping into the situation. I'm a medical student, and to make ends meet, I share an apartment with my roommate, who we'll be calling Adam from here on forth.
Okay.
In parentheses, it says, not his real name. Yeah, we get that, because you specifically said you're calling him Adam. But he's also a student at the same university, but in different fields. He's a coursing civil engineer. Not sure why that's relevant.
So people who are at their same university can look them up.
Oh, okay. He wants the person to be found. He wants Adam to be found.
Oh God, your face just tells me everything I need to know about where this is going.
That being said, we never had problems before in the 3 years we've been sharing the apartment. In
3 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
In truth, I spend most of my time in the school hospital from our university and only really go home to sleep or spend the weekend. I believe this is the reason we don't have many issues. It's like absentee roommate.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Adam has been in a relationship with his girlfriend for the past few years. I barely exchanged more than a few words with her since we don't really see each other that often, but she seems like a nice girl. Regardless, now the situation at hand. This weekend, I had the option of accompanying my professor of mine and his residents in their night shift in the ER. As you would assume, that's a golden opportunity to learn, and there was absolutely no way I could pass it up. Thus, I made some arrangements and was able to be on their shift. The shift started at midnight and ended at noon on the next day. So Friday and Saturday, and a Sunday, Monday. As you'd expect, that was definitely different from my usual schedule, which is 8 to 8 due to classes and some extra internships. This past Monday, I was exhausted after shadowing them and helping them out for a whole shift, and I just wanted to get home and collapse on my bed. As I was just getting home, I thought I would eat something before sleeping. And that's when I went to the kitchen, to be surprised with the image of Adam's girlfriend, butt naked, drinking something.
Beautiful sight.
As you would imagine, both of us were quite startled, and I immediately turned around and went to the living room apologizing like crazy. There was no way for me to know she was there. It was an accident. I didn't hear anything, only the door for his room closing up after she ran there. Well, it's a delicate situation. I understand the embarrassment. Regardless, I was tired and even forgot to eat, just decided to go to bed. I slept like a brick, but when I woke up, I noticed many calls and messages from Adam. I read through them, and they were essentially all asking where I was or if I was awake. I left my room to talk to him after that, thinking something could have happened, hoping he was all right. Well, here's the thing. He wasn't looking for me because of anything to help with. Rather to scream and shout at me that I was an asshole for not telling him I was going to be home during the day, that I was an asshole for coming at that time,
What?
and that I had embarrassed his girlfriend.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No, I understand the girl felt bad here, but hey, this is my house, right? Regardless, I wanted to know, am I the asshole here?
No!
Right?
Okay, I've had roommates my entire adult life. If I am naked somewhere outside of my bedroom, that's on me.
Right? Yeah. I mean, just because someone doesn't expect you to be home doesn't mean you're not allowed to be home. If you pay rent, if you live there, you're just as allowed to be there at any time as anyone else.
Does the girlfriend live with them or is she a guest?
Let's see if that clarifies. I don't remember that being in here, so let me check. I don't see an answer to that. Maybe there's a response below. I'm going to look.
Okay, because, if his roommate can have guests over, then he can have guests over. Is she okay with just anybody seeing her naked? Because that's what it tells me. If you're just out and about in a place that's not private.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, who in the world goes naked into a public space in a house that you share with someone else.
Right?
And without the full understanding that, like, yep, someone could see me naked. That is a thing that could happen.
Right? Like, okay, at this point, my roommate knows what I look like in a bra and panties because I'm over it. We've lived with him for like 3 years. He doesn't look at me as a woman. But he's never seen me full on naked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I know if I walk out in blankety blank, he might see me in blankety blank.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I've lived in, well, up until the last few years, I've always lived with housemates. I've always lived with other people. It's just cheaper. It's been more efficient.
It's something that happens with our generation. We all have bunches of roommates for way long into adulthood.
Yeah. I mean, we could get into the economy, but we'll just leave it at that for
Yeah.
the moment. Yeah, it's a thing. It's just always been a thing. And I knew that, like, yeah, I could be naked in my own room, but, like, I wouldn't be naked in the rest of the house, even if I didn't think they were home, even if I thought they were out of town, because you never know. They could come back early. They could be there. Like, this person lives there, and, like, I don't know. It just seems wild to me that they would assume, like, oh, this is your fault for coming home. Like, you don't have to warn someone when you're coming home. You live there.
Exactly. And especially if she's a guest, it's like, dude, if you can have guests, he can have guests.
Yeah.
And if she's not a guest, if she lives there full time, then dude, seriously, lady, you know he's there sometimes.
I'm pretty confident the girlfriend does not live there. So
Yeah, no.
the reason I say that, one, they barely exchanged more than a few words, which means she's not there all the time.
But he's also not there all the time.
So, true, but even then, they would have exchanged more than a few words. Two, there's the comment, only the door to his room closing up after she ran there. He wouldn't call it his room if it was their room.
You're right. You're
so
right.
to me, I'm like, this person is a guest.
Yeah.
So this guest was naked in your living room, and the person who pays rent came home and
Saw you naked.
And now they're in trouble? No,
No,
that's not how that works.
You deserve to get your eyes looked at. And then he went and fell asleep. He didn't even get his food. He was just like, naked woman. But I guess if you work in the medical field, you see a lot of naked people.
Well, and I mean, fucking med school is crazy, right? Like, med school is a lot of time and energy. I'm sure he's exhausted all the time and doesn't want to deal with this kind of roommate drama. This person sounds like a difficult person to live with.
Also, like, if he blew up your phone, like, hey, are you awake? Obviously not.
No.
Like, he was asleep.
Yeah.
Are there any updates on this one?
Not from the original poster. There's a number of comments, but none of them. There are a lot of people just saying, no, you're not the asshole, right?
Okay.
Like, a lot of, honestly, it devolves into a discussion about why you would even be in the kitchen naked, because it's A, unhygienic, and B, cooking naked can lead to all kinds of dangerous problems.
No, see, I like to be naked in the kitchen on the few occasions I can where, like, oh, my roommate is, like, out of town for the holidays and won't be back for weeks. A few days leading up to when he comes back is like, okay, I gotta cut it in there. But just being able to, like, walk around full freedom naked is something I've only experienced on a handful of occasions, and it's liberating.
That was never a thing in my life up until the last few years, because now I just live with my partner, and so now I don't have to wear clothes.
Well,
ever.
I mean, she wasn't cooking. She was drinking something.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, it's just like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Maybe you just like, you're just like, oh, I'm running to the fridge to grab a quick drink. I'm not going to throw clothes on, because if you're not wearing them in the bedroom and no one's home, like, yeah, sure, I get it. It's all fine. I think it's totally fine what she did, right?
Yeah.
Being naked in the kitchen to run and grab a drink real
If
quick.
it wasn't her place, that's not fine, unless she's okay with dude seeing her naked.
Right. I think what she did was okay, although maybe there should be a discussion of consent about whether that's okay in the roommate agreement or something.
Yeah.
But what's not okay is the person being upset that it happened.
Yeah, like,
right?
it happened. It's on basically all of you except for Opie.
Yeah.
Like, the roommate for not being like, hey, my roommate comes back sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want him to see you naked, don't be naked.
Yeah. It's interesting that the onus is put on the viewer and not the person who's parading around without clothes.
Yeah, like, he should be mad at his girlfriend. If anybody. Because it sounds like it was a true accident. Like, she didn't think he'd be home. She was just going to go get something to drink. She was being lazy.
Yeah, it's very clear no one expected this to happen.
Like, this was an accident.
But yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't think anyone should be mad at anyone. It's just like, okay, whatever. You saw someone naked.
Just be embarrassed and be cringed and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next week I got a doozy for you guys.
Ooh,
So we'll see you then.
very excited.
Bye.
Bye. All right, well, I'm Ryan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Build Right Roll, where I post about my professional Dungeon Master experiences. You can check out the links in the description if you're interested in hiring a professional DM or looking to level up your own DM skills.
And you can find me, V, at Cringe Queen at Instagram and Twitter, or check me out on YouTube as the Queen of Cringe, and be embarrassed with me.
All right, well, thanks for listening and cringing along with us.
And we'll catch you next time with more awesome cringe content.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible. Only one way to know. Only one way to know.
Hello, I am Patrick,
And I'm Andrew. And I'm Christian.
And I'm Allie.
and we are Rad Theater, a podcast where a bunch of friends play role-playing games and share a single brain cell, and the GM doesn't always have it. Oh, and it's theater spelled the correct way, Theatre.